friends, welcome back. Are you thinking about creating a new jewelry collection? If so, then this video is for you. We will go through the top 6 things that your jewelry collection should really include to make sure that it sells. Let's get to it. Number 1, make sure that you just keep it simple. Often we think we need to overcomplicate things and have at least 30 pieces before we launch it, and we go wild creating loads of different iterations of the same piece, and we end up with 10 different rings, and it's a lot. So you really need to keep it quite simple. I personally always go between 6 and 12 pieces for a collection. One of my collections at the moment, my Eloise collection, has got 12 pieces in it, and I have a combination of 3 hair pieces, 4 rings, 3 earrings, and 2 necklaces, and that works really, really well. Within that collection, you need to obviously give them some choice, but don't go crazy giving them too much choice, because then it becomes overwhelming. Overwhelmed customer equals confused, confused equals doesn't buy. So you need to eliminate all of that indecision, and you're the curator of that collection. So you're the one choosing, saying, these are my final pieces. I've obviously thought about this collection for ages, and I've done lots of thinking, and these are the pieces that I personally am putting out as the curator of that collection for you to buy. Number 2 is that you should really try and include a statement piece. Think about it as though it's a catwalk. So when you're on the catwalk, you're going to see somebody with a crazy elaborate outfit, which obviously looks amazing and it has that wow factor. And that is what we want to have in the collection, is to have one piece that really grabs people's attention. But that piece is going to be more expensive, and that piece is maybe not super practical to wear. Underneath the statement piece, obviously you will have the rest of your collection, which is more affordable. So even if you don't sell that statement piece, that is totally fine. Its job is done if it is grabbing attention and getting people interested in your collection. So that is the one where you can really do an elaborate photograph and use that as like a wow. Number 3 is having a gateway item. So a gateway item is what it sounds like, where it is in between your statement piece and your lower price points. This is the piece that is very accessible to anybody, so your loyal existing customers will buy this piece, as well as new customers. You don't want it to be too petite and too tiny in size, and you don't want it to be huge and super chunky. So really somewhere in the midpoint in terms of size, and also in terms of the design aesthetic. So not super crazy and not the most simple piece in your collection, but enough to grab people's attention, and the price point also being like, oh, okay, I can afford this. This is a great piece. And it's a piece that people will love, people will take pictures of, and that will then help the word to spread. Before we jump to point number 4, I just want to say, make sure you stick around to the end, because my point number 6 is the real cherry on the top. And without this, it's not going to work, even if you have all the other ones. So point number 4 is to have an upsell item. The whole idea of this upsell came from McDonald's, where they said, would you like fries with that at the end? You've all heard that, and you've already bought what you want, but then they put this thought in your mind, do you want something extra that's not too expensive, but it's just a little bit extra, but it'll make the whole thing a bit better. So that's kind of the concept. So what you would do is at checkout is to have a cheaper option as like, would you like this with it? And it's something similar to what they want, what they've already bought, but also something that is a lower price point. It could even potentially be as a gift for a friend, or just an extra little bit for them. So having that lower price point item in your collection is a really good idea and is a great upsell, because it's really harder to get new people onto your website than it is to sell to people who are already there. They're already interested, they're already there. All they need to do is go, yes, I'll have that extra thing, rather than investing in trying to get somebody new onto your platform who's then going to have to go through that whole process. So also saves you on shipping costs. So it's a fantastic thing to have. On your website, what you can also do if you want is, if they've already added 1 or 2 items to their cart, you can say add this second or third item at a discount. So you can set that up on your website as well. So it's an extra incentive. You're like, oh, why not? You know how sometimes at shops they have that option to, buy 3 and then you get it half price or something like that. So that's also a way of upselling. Then we have point number 5, which is having a cohesive collection. This is super important, because if you have like a real mishmash of everything and it looks like a garage sale, People aren't going to really know what it's about. The whole story behind the collection isn't really going to be clear. So you want it to feel like a curated collection. You want the story to be really clear through them, and you want people to be able to buy matching earrings and necklace or ring so they can buy more than one piece, because a lot of people really like to have like a jewelry collection that fits really well together. Personally, I like mix and match a little bit more, but within that mix and match, there is still a thread of the same sort of style. So when you're starting out, you might be experimenting with like lots of different techniques and wax carving and doing it from sheet or wire, some gemstones, and you might have all kinds of different things. I'm not saying don't use different techniques or anything, but just make sure that the design aesthetic, there's a string that goes between everything so that it looks really cohesive. This also helps you to be really professional, and it helps people to understand that you really gave this collection a lot of thought, which means people value it more as well, which is important in terms of your pricing. Which leads me on to my final point, which is point number 6, which is by far the most important thing that you really need to consider before you even start designing your collection. And that is identifying your target audience. So knowing who your gal is, like who are the people you're speaking to, what do they like, really understanding who they are, because you don't want to go make a whole collection but have no idea who it's for. So you don't know where to market it, you don't know how to advertise it, and you don't even know where to exhibit it because you don't really know who it's for. So knowing that is super, super important. And not only just for your collection, but knowing your target audience in general for your whole brand is really important. I cannot express how important it is. And you need to know what they wear, where they eat, the kind of things they enjoy. You really want to understand their demographic, which is kind of the like age, location, all of that kind of information, and their psychographic information, which means their behavior, their values, their emotional things. I often speak to girls in my coaching program, and they say they know who their target audience is, and then they say, oh, it's a girl aged between 25 and 65. That is not a niche. That doesn't mean that you can't sell to people outside of your specific target audience, age range, but you really need to have it honed down a lot clearer than that, and you need to go way more in depth. So just the age is not enough, and the gender, and don't always assume you know who it is, not based on actual research, because you'll be surprised sometimes. Be like, oh, actually, I had no idea that they were interested as well. So having a really clear idea is really important. So figure that out before you even begin designing, and then keep them in mind so that you create a bridge between what you like creating. Obviously, you don't want to create something you're not interested in, but also what they are interested in. So that's where it ties into your USP, which is your unique selling point. And that is very, very important to link those two together to create a collection that speaks to a specific group of people, rather than going out there, making a collection and then shouting out to everyone, anybody interested? And you don't really know who you're speaking to. You don't know the language you need to use to speak to them. Because if you are, for example, making a collection for teens, you're going to use completely different language, completely different branding to if you're making a collection for the sophisticated businesswoman. So you see what I mean? How just the age doesn't really give you enough information. So have a good hard think about that, and drop down in the comments if you are wanting to start a conversation about that. This is something that I do cover in my one-to-one in loads of detail, and we work through that together and help you figure out, 1, who your target audience is, and 2, what your USP is. So that's really, really clear to help you, give you that really good, strong foundation for the next collections you create. Anyway, that's it for today. I really hope you found that helpful, and please feel free to subscribe and like if you feel drawn to it. It means a lot to me. Have a beautiful day. Speak to you soon. Bye.